Hi, my name is Donald Tiano, and today I will present the demo of Time2Fit. Time2Fit is a multivariate time series clustering that works in two different modes, in a completely unsupervised mode and in a semi-supervised mode. This is the homepage of Time2Fit. In this page we can drop the file with the datasets, and in case of semi-supervised dataset, we can also decide how many time series we want to watch for each of the classes provided in input. In this scenario, I will show how Time2Fit works on a completely unsupervised dataset. And then we can also see how this dataset could be labeled by this demo. So let's now import the dataset. For this scenario, we will use the DrakeSport dataset without the adoption of labels. Once the dataset is successfully imported, we can see all the type of parameters that we can change with Time2Fit. For example, the type of transformation and the type of clustering that we want to adopt. And also the user can select how many clusters he wants to use. And then we can see also all the time series imported from the dataset, and finally all the features extracted from this time series. So let's now clustering the time series imported in input. In fact, by clicking here, we can obtain all the cluster for each of the time series. And another interesting information is that when we click on one single time series, we can also watch which are all the time series that are close to the time series clicked. For example, in these cases, we can see that the closest time series to time series number 3 is the time series number 4. Once computed the clusters for each of the time series, we can improve the quality of the clustering algorithm by labeling some of the time series. For example, we can see here that time series 3 and time series 2 and time series 1 are pretty equal, so probably they should belong to the same clusters. So what we can do is to select the time series that we want to change the name of the clusters, and then we can write the same name of the clusters. For example, here we can write badminton. Once we have done this, we can click on Build Cluster Graph. This operation will compute again a new selection of the features, and based on the information provided before, we can see that now time series belongs to the correct clusters, and all the time series that belong to the cluster number 1, now this cluster's name is changed in badminton classes. And in order to improve the interpretability of the system, we have also implemented a TSNE chart in order to watch how the dataset is plotted using the TSNE chart. And as we can see here, it's a little bit complicated to watch how this dataset is showed, also because it's impossible to detect 4 different clusters. Therefore, we've implemented another button that is named Update TSNE, that when we click on this button, we can reload a new different chart of the TSNE algorithm. In this way, we can try to reload many times this chart in order to obtain one view that helps the division of the number of clusters requested. And by clicking on one of these points, we can also obtain all the information seen before.